Okay, check this out, y'all. I decided to make a Minion Birdhouse. And I got this idea from someone who made one on Etsy. Well, they're selling theirs on Etsy. They're actually selling theirs for $60. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to make that. And so I just kind of figured out my own spacing and all that kind of stuff. We'll see how it turns out. And I have this this extra scrap piece of the old headboard that I had lying around. I think I mentioned an old headboard that I used to make a project previously. But anyway, this is a piece I found that was wide enough for this Minion. So I'm hopefully going to make the entire thing out of this one piece. So I'm going to have two pieces that are this shape. Then we're going to have some side pieces, a bottom. After I put the whole thing together, I'll figure out the sizing of the bottom and all the rest of the details. Okay, we have it all sanded off. Now I'm going to trace it on here. So we're going to do a second one, and then we're going to cut it out using the scroll saw. This is something you could actually cut out using the jigsaw too, but I'm using my scroll saw because I love it. Alright, we have our front piece and our back piece now cut out. So what I want to do is make the side pieces that'll go between here on each side. These pieces are about 5.5 inches wide. It's about 3/4 of an inch thick, so the two together would be 1.5 inches. So what I'm going to put in between them is a wall that is 4 inches wide, and I'm probably going to come up to about here where it starts to curve, and it's not going to be exact, so I'll just do the best I can. If it looks like a leaky, lame-o birdhouse, I'm not going to subject any birds to it, but we'll just do it for our, entertainment and enjoyment sake. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't, I'm disappointed. So anyway, I'm going to measure out 4 inches wide by up to the curve, and I'm going to cut out two pieces 4 by whatever this height is. I didn't measure it. Let's see. Let's say that's about, actually, it's a little over 5.5 inches long or tall. 5.5 inches tall, 4 inches wide for the walls, the two walls. And I'll be right back. So here are the two side pieces. They are 4 inches this way and 5.5 inches this way. But before we put those on, I remembered that I need to put a hole through here for the bird to pass through before I assemble the 4 walls. So I have this 1.5 inch bit. It makes a hole through the wood, so I'm going to use that with my drill to put a hole through here. And there's our hole. Now I'm going to try to attach these side pieces to the front and back. So I'm going to use this wood glue first, and then to hold this piece on, I'm going to use my nail gun and hope for the best, because seriously, the nail gun is dangerous. I do not like it. Okay, good. For the base, like I said earlier, I just cut out this square that I'm going to sit on here, and to clean the birdhouse, I'm going to attach it with screws. So you just unscrew, clean it out like that for the base. So I'm going to pre-drill some holes, and then I'm using these 1 1/4 inch screws I filled in all the holes from the nail gun on this piece, and now I'm going to use these. I think there's seven thin sliced pieces to do the roof. So I'm actually going to start in the middle with the one here like this, and then work my way around each side. I don't know if I said earlier, but it bears repeating. You do not want to glue something together with just hot glue that you're going to put outside, because at some point the hot glue gives and your piece just pops apart and you're all disappointed because your cute little piece is not holding anymore. Alright, so there we are in the middle, and now we'll work down each side. It touches a little teeny bit at the top, so I'll just put that on there. I didn't really leave myself anywhere for the hot glue. I don't think any birds are going to live here because, seriously, this thing is not what it should be. So don't worry, no birds will be harmed in the making of this nonsense. I have two pieces of wood here that I've drawn circles on that will go onto the front of the birdhouse right here. And I'm not sure which one will work out. This is a piece of plywood. It's kind of thinner. It's thinner than this other one. This one here, oh, I need to move it over. This one is another piece of the headboard. So it has the same thickness as the birdhouse. So I'm going to cut out both and see which one I like better. If you happen to have a piece of roofing tile that is flexible, you could use that instead on the top of this birdhouse as the roof, instead of this, you know, kind of makeshift shingle situation. So what I'm going to do to cut out these circles is I'm going to drill a hole in the center and then use the scroll saw to cut out the circle. First on the inside, I think, and then on the outside. I put a thick bit in here so that when I go to put my scroll saw blade through the hole, it'll fit. My scroll saw blades have pins in the end. This hole needs to be wide enough for it to fit through, and that'll fit. Okay, let me show you. I can loosen my pen, my blade, this is the blade here. I can loosen it with this knob. If I figure out which way to take it. Oh, actually, I was supposed to go here first and loosen it up. Loosen it here, and turn this, pull the blade out. I hope you can see that it has pins there. So that I just feed that pin through the hole. See that there? And then I put it back inside this little area here. Tighten it down. And then lock it. I have the ping, and I'm ready to start cutting on the inside of my circle. And you have to unlock it, loosen it, pull it out, and take your ring off so you don't cut through the walls. And now I can cut through on the outside. It's by no means perfect because it is dependent on my being careful and taking my time, and I never take my time. I decided I did a better job of cutting out this ring with the thicker wood So that's what I'm going to go with. And I'm going to glue it here. As before, I'm going to use some hot glue and wood glue to position it. I did sand it a lot. If you know a better way to do a ring like this more precisely without all the hand variations, please let me know in the comments below. It would be so helpful. The next thing we're going to do with our little minion is to give him some arms and legs. So I have this thick dowel. I think I got this from Walmart. 7/8 inches, okay? And so I'm going to make some arms for him and legs. The arms are just going to be like this. They're going to potentially hang straight down. Maybe stop right here, just above the bottom piece. I think I'm going to like shape this a bit at the top so I can lay it better against this wood and glue it on. And then the legs are going to be maybe this long, maybe 2 inches long, and I'm just going to pop them on the bottom. So I ended up cutting his legs to be 2.5 inches long. And I think I thought about a 45-degree angle for the top of his arm, but that's going to make it sit out like this. I want his arm to sit straight down from his body. I've drawn on here sort of like an arch, and I'm going to use the scroll saw to cut that into an arch. And I think at the very least it'll sit this way and the top will be rounded like a shoulder. Okay, I cut off the arms to be 4 inches long. I said that the tops to be pretty rounded. But before I put on the limbs, I'm going to paint the base or the body of the piece. So let's move on to that. I hope you can hear me okay. Somebody's cutting the grass. I apologize for that noise. So what I'm going to be using is bright yellow. I made the mistake of putting this ring piece on here before painting the whole inside. I mean the whole body of it. I made the mistake of putting this ring on. It would have worked better if I just left this ring off until I painted the whole face of this piece, and then also painted the ring while it wasn't on here. So that was a big mistake. So I just taped in here so I could try to get the yellow down in here. I'm not going to paint inside the hole. I'm going to leave that uncovered, but the face part in here I'm going to paint. So for the arms, I've taped off about 3/4 of an inch. I mean, I'm just estimating. I don't know how much I actually did tape off, but just the bottom of it so that I can do up here. I can do yellow. I've taped off a little bit smaller area for the legs, and I'm going to be using this ocean color from Waverly on the upper part of the leg. And here we go. I like that. That looks just the color I want it. Looks like denim. I've retaped all of the ends so that I covered the painted part, the yellow and the blue, and now I'm going to paint the ends black. Once again, I regret putting this piece on here before I painted inside and painted this separately, because see how I have to tape this up to try to make sure I don't get the next color onto this yellow. So what I'm going to paint this ring is I just poured it out onto the table. Silver sterling, and that's what color I'm going to paint this. Let's go ahead and paint the roof. I thought about painting it yellow just to continue his body like the real Minion would be, because he only has like a few black hairs, but I just rather do it black. Okay, I've been kind of avoiding this part, drawing on his overalls because, painting on his overalls because I just didn't want to get it wrong. But I'm ready to do it. So I tried to draw it on here, but I kind of messed up the line. So I'm just putting this tape here to just go for it. And now we're going to try to get this part here. And to get it much more precise, I'm going to have to finish it up off camera because I can't do it without getting my head all close in there. But this is how we're going to be doing it, like that. Again, I'm going to have to do this part and this off camera because I have to be precise. So I'm just showing you where I'm going with this. Okay, so it's going to be like that. Now I'm going to clean it up off camera. Now I'm going to try to do this strap, and I have to do it high enough because the arm is pretty long. I guess I should have made the arms a little shorter than this. So I'm going to meet up with this strap on the front and then take it in an arch over like this. I think I better stop here actually because I need to know where I should come down to meet up with the back. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the back before I do the rest of this. Okay, now I'm going to be able to meet up. This back here, it's going to arch a little differently than what it would be considered normal. Oh well, that's the best I can do. I need to finish his glasses and make a strap for it. I have this thin little piece of wood, so like I'm going to put one over here and mark it for where I'm going to cut it off, and after that I'll put the other over here. And so I cut it off here like this, and here's the other side. So I'm going to sand these and paint them and then glue them on. Now we're going to glue on the arms. So I'm just going to choose a place to run a bead of glue down here. Put some hot glue on. And then try to get it in place somewhere in the middle. We've got a few more things to do to this before it's done, but let's go ahead and attach the legs. So I'm going to put the emblem onto our pocket onto a piece with this emblem. And now I want to put on some buttons, which I stole off of one of Mark's shirts as a little additional part here. It's a little small. I do want to put wood glue because in extreme temperatures the hot glue can just make it snap off. Just gonna pop it in there like that. These buttons were a little bit more gray, but I painted them black. It isn't as black as I'd like it, but it's okay. And then pop it on here like this. The final item needed for our Minion Birdhouse is a chain and hooks to attach the chain on each side. I'm going to pre-drill holes so that I can stick these hooks on the side, and then we'll be done. Here he is, our cute little Minion Birdhouse. Now, of course, my birdhouse is just for inspirational purposes. But if you were to do something like this, you definitely want to give it a top coat. Otherwise, the first rain, your paint is gone. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel. Give me a comment below. Tell me what your suggestions are, what you think of the project. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.